Welcome to Casense.
Growing a business feels like pouring water into a bucket with a massive hole. You keep adding more, but the water level never actually rises. This is how we usually think about marketing. You spend money on ads to pour people in at the top, hope a few buy something at the very bottom, and then the whole process resets. The core problem is the funnel flows in one direction. Value simply leaks away, leaving the system empty. The moment you stop paying for ads, your growth stops. To break this cycle, we restructure the path into a closed loop called product-led growth. Moving from a funnel to a loop changes the product from something you must constantly push into a system that generates its own momentum. To see how this works, let's look at a digital whiteboard app called Boardly. They were struggling to grow with ads, so they redesigned their product to behave like an engine. The first step is simply getting a user to a quick win. A new person signs up, creates their first board, and sees their scattered ideas come together in one clear view for the first time. Once they see the value, they start to invest more time. They add sticky notes, build out complex projects, and invite their teammates, which makes the app even more useful to them. Because they're using the app to collaborate, the product naturally produces something that spreads, like a shared link to a board that includes a Made with Boardly batch. When a client or a partner views that board, they see how it works, click that link, and sign up to create a board of their own. This brings those new people right back to the beginning, starting the whole process over again. The output of one user becomes the invitation for the next. By building acquisition into the way people actually use the software, Boardly turned her product into a self-sustaining engine. This works because of one strict rule. The results of one cycle must be reinvested as the fuel for the next. This creates a compounding effect. Unlike a funnel that resets to zero, a loop uses every successful turn to make the next turn bigger. Of course, different products create different kinds of loops based on how people use them. Some rely on users inviting friends. Others rely on users creating public content that shows up in search results. You can even have loops where the money earned from one customer is immediately used to find the next. The strongest companies don't just pick one. They layer several different loops together to keep the momentum building from every possible angle. However, this isn't a magic fix. If the parts of the engine don't fit the product, the whole system stops working. The most common mistake is trying to build a loop on a product that people don't actually want to keep using. If you can't keep your current users interested, the loop breaks. People leak out of the system before they ever have a chance to bring someone else in. You also can't force a loop where it doesn't belong. If a product handles private data, forcing users to share links will feel intrusive rather than natural. It's also important to realize that loops don't run themselves forever. Markets change and platforms shift, meaning you have to constantly innovate to keep the engine running. This doesn't mean you have to stop using traditional marketing entirely. Think of them as partners. A marketing campaign can provide the initial spark to get the engine turning, while the loop takes that energy and keeps it moving. Building this way changes your business from one that's always hunting for new attention to one that naturally gains momentum through its own success.